We're back with another installment of Rice Talk. This is your host Cam, and we have
B
back with us in the building.
in
How
the
you
building, man. We're great.
Great,
It's March Madness. It's a nice day outside.
man. It's a beautiful day
Beautiful
outside.
day.
I'll take like a blanket, throw it on the ground, and just lay on it with some bug spray
Some bug spray on the beach
with a sandwich.
with a sandwich.
What's on the sandwich?
I don't know. We doing roast beef or turkey.
Ooh, okay.
Either or.
Half and half,
We could go half and half.
like kind of light on both.
Light on both. Throw some lettuce on there. Some
Oh,
onions.
I'm gonna go spinach.
Yeah, you're right. Spinach.
No
The
shade.
dark
though.
green.
No
Better.
shade. No shade.
More nutritious.
Shout out lettuce. You got me through hard times.
But nutritious. You gotta eat the dark greens.
Yeah.
Dark green leafy.
Throw some kale. Nah, kale got a little bitter.
Throw
some
bit.
tomatoes.
Yeah, we go
Light?
tomato.
Not too many, or what you?
Just slice one.
All right. Okay.
You say we put two on there, two of them.
Vinegar?
Or you can slice one and a half.
Or no, hold on. I don't want
I do Italian. Italian dressing, throw a little salt, pepper.
Okay.
Italian dressing, that'll be the oil and vinegar. Oil and vinegar.
I mean, yeah, that is what.
And then throw some, you do pickles.
Hear me out. Lately, I've been doing cucumbers.
Cucumbers.
Not
I
too,
ride with it.
not too thick on the slice though. I mean, oof.
My guess if you throw the salt, the oil, vinegar, salt, pepper on it, it'll be pickle.
Pretty
In a
much.
sense, pretty much.
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's
Pretty much.
and I don't have no problem with pickles. It's kind of like I don't really do jalapenos. Let's start there. Jalapenos, I don't do jalapenos really on the sandwich no more. I do banana pepper.
Nah, I don't do
'Cause
it.
it's more.
I ain't never did jalapeno on the sandwich though.
Well,
It's like if I had to, I'd do the banana.
Yeah.
Banana pepper.
It's more of a
Like on
fresher.
the sub. It do feel fresh. Tastes fresh.
Like
What kind of
pickle.
bread though?
Ooh.
You gonna use sub bread or you using like the honey wheat? Like the slices.
Nah, when you go bread, you gotta go big. You gotta go big. You gotta go wheat.
Wheat bread.
If we go in Subway, I don't even know if they still got a 9-grain wheat or whatever. They probably wasn't even 9 grains in the wheat. They probably just said that.
Just selling. It's a selling point. That's all it is.
Buzzwords.
They don't be having no grains in the bread.
What kind of bread for you? French. You like that French bread? I feel like
French
you like
bread
that
for real. Or like the little sub bread they have in the packages.
What is it like? What's the difference? Like I know, like I taste the difference, but what is the difference?
I don't know.
Is it just like a?
I like it seem like the little mini sub breads that come in the package, they a little chewier, like softer.
It's like they're soft baked or something. I'm not a baker. I don't really.
French bread, it seem like I don't know. They more firm.
Facts. No,
They more firmer.
Do you
It just seems like they don't use as much yeast, I guess. That makes sense.
I can see that on some chemical, scientific
I don't know.
type of test. No, I'm with you.
I don't
Any
know, like
baker's
the
time.
packaged bread got better texture and it's more chewier.
Yeah, kind of like that. King's Hawaiian roll.
Like the Hawaiian roll. Yeah.
That's kind of what it reminds me.
Remind me of.
It has like more butter or something.
Like it's more. That's probably what it is. The yeast, the amount of yeast they use in the bread.
Man, it makes me want to watch one of them how it's made videos on like making bread. I can watch those now, not even get hungry because I'm just like, man.
Yeah, make me a Scooby-Doo sandwich, something like that.
Yo, a Scooby-Doo sandwich actually is a good cascade into the topic of discussion for today, which is going to be Catch 'em All, Dragon Ball Rice Talk, the last rice bender. Any name you think of, the Rice Rats. I'm talking. That was
three blind rice.
Yeah, we got more. What do you think as like the 90s era's like favorite cartoon? Or 90s babies like cartoons?
Go-to cartoons in the 90s. I probably say Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
Rugrats.
Gotta throw that in there.
Hey Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta say Pokemon. What else?
It's Hey.
I said Hey Arnold was 90s. Dang, what else? Some good cards. Johnny Bravo.
Would you say more of the heavy hitters came out in the 90s or more of the heavy hitters came out in the 2000s?
I'd say because we grew up in like the in between. So I'd probably say like the late 90s.
Because what you got your Because what was
The late
Courage and
90s.
Ed, Ed and Eddie was that late
That
90s?
was late 90s going into the 2000s.
Okay.
Like Courage, Ed, Ed, and Eddie,
Yeah.
SpongeBob, um, I remember like Dexter, Powerpuff Girls.
Ooh.
All that was like going into that was like the later 90s. Cat Dog, another one.
Which one you think you have the most watch time on out of like the like the 90s going into 2000s? Not so
The
much like
most watch time was probably be Hey Arnold and Rugrats. I spent the most time watching them.
Hey Arnold and Rugrats.
Hey
Yeah.
Arnold, because you had the other ones like the Ren and Stimpy. It's another one I'm thinking about.
You mentioned that. Yeah, those are one of those
It
shows that
was
I
another
watched
like
while I
it was
was
like
waiting.
some beaver and some other animal. I can't remember the name of that show.
Mhm. I know they had like the wild thing like with the family with like the
Oh, the
thing.
Thornberries. Whatchamacallit? Yeah. What was the name of that show? Was the Wild Thornberry? That's what it was.
Yes,
Wild
yes,
Thornberry.
yes. I remember the
I didn't really
animation.
watch that. Like I watched it, but they wasn't
It
not
was
as much as them from other shows.
school. What's that? Schoolyard or they played like dodgeball or some shit. It came on like it was like it was like a school aesthetic like cartoon.
Recess.
Recess.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, Recess.
I ain't gonna lie, the real ones grew up watching that Wild Thornberries and Rogue. They had a crossover movie.
They
I don't know if you
did.
remember that.
I needed that.
I can't remember what was the name of that movie.
I couldn't tell you. Well, their animation styles were so
Because
similar.
they was similar.
And I always thought,
And they just made
man,
a whole crossover movie back in like something like that.
you know who made a terrible crossover movie?
Rugrats Go Wild, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Rugrats Go
You
Wild.
locked in. You locked in. I
And then the other Rugrat. What was the other Rugrats movie?
think it was just Rugrats, wasn't it?
The Rugrats movie. Someone like then they go to Paris or something like
Yeah,
that.
they added a location to it. That's how you know somebody they really drag in a series. They be like everybody gone to France.
They was the first in Paris, huh?
Nah, really. What do you think? You remember that? What was it? Jimmy Neutron into Fairly Odd Parents, or was it vice versa? It was like a crossover.
Crossover to Jimmy Tim Pow Wow. Well, they had like three of them.
Yeah,
It was like Jimmy Tim Pow Wow, then they had the second one, then they had the third one.
you know, I wasn't like a huge fan of when they came to Jimmy's
It's a Jimmy's Universe.
yeah. I'm not a huge fan of 3D like anyway for real.
I say, but Jimmy was like the only cartoon that made it work.
They did, but it's because that was
Made
their
it work.
aesthetic.
It was an aesthetic.
Like because he had that science kind of weird-ish like
Everything revolved around science.
yeah.
Like you learned a little something about it too.
Yeah.
Like it was a little educational. It was funny though.
They had a good
They
spin.
made it work.
Man, I used to really love. I know I'm jumping from air to air. I used to really love. What's the kids? They were all agents. Gosh.
All Asian kids.
Yeah, code name Kid Next
Oh, Codenames Kid Next Door.
Bro, I don't know. I feel like I don't really remember
Yeah,
a
that was
ton of
2000s.
episodes,
That was
but
2000s.
that was probably one of my most watched 2000 shows.
Yeah.
90s cartoon. I watched was Static Shock a 90s cartoon?
I think it was 2000s.
Damn, it seemed old as hell.
It was early 2000s.
It was probably
if it
just
was. Like if it was 90s, it had to be late.
I'm thinking
I didn't really watch that too much though, because it used to come on like Saturday mornings, and I was busy watching like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon in the morning time. Because you remember they used to show all the new episodes of the cartoon Friday night, and if you missed it Friday night, they'll show it Saturday morning. And I get up in the morning and watch like Nick and Cartoon Network.
They used to have, I think, they used to do that, and I think WWE would come on at the same time.
Yeah, it'll come on at the same time.
Or similar. I think because, like by the time they would, because like I said, it would start at 6 for the episode, and I think WWE would come on like 7, and it was like, all right. I think I would just
because they used to come on like they used to advertise it all week. New episode Friday night at 6 Eastern, 5 Eastern.
Was it life simpler when we were in a time where we had to like pick like a channel we had to watch because everything was coming on at a similar time?
At the same time.
Now it's just it's on demand now.
Yeah, you can just watch it anytime now. But back then, it's like you either want to watch Nick or you want to watch Cartoon Network.
And then for some people,
like if you
the
miss
Disney's.
The Disney too, yeah.
We got the Disney crowd out there. I'm sorry.
Disney crowd.
Disney XD.
Ooh, I had Disney growing up, man.
They had Disney XD, Disney Junior, Disney Kids. That's like they do have a Disney Junior and Disney Kids. Like, why would you have two? That's that we charge so much that we can have as many channels as we want.
I'll say Nickelodeon had whatchamacallit, Nick Jr.
Mm-hmm. But
What was
cartoon,
not what was Noggin? What was that associated with? That showed a whole bunch of preschool cartoons.
yeah, they missed me with
Noggin.
that. They missed
That's
me
what we
with
used to
that.
watch in daycare.
No, yeah, I like the. Oh yeah. Magic School Bus for sure. Out of all the PBS shows, it's probably like the most stand
Man,
out.
school bus. We used to watch that in school. I can't tell you no episodes on Magic School, but I have no memory of that show for real.
It
I
was
don't lie to you.
it was kind of like she just used to come on the bus and you're like, I'm about to learn
You just
something.
go on adventures and stuff. I didn't really,
She about to get on the bus with no fuel or like
and the bus be going out of space
it's like
or
why do you have
something.
tires at this point?
Are they going underwater or somewhere like somewhat crazy?
No, like for real. Like, did they sign a permission slip to go? Like, I know they probably see her on the bus. They like, man,
Miss Frizzle come through, they going to another planet.
they're like, bro, we're not gonna be back until
We
next
ain't gonna be
week,
back the
fuck.
next year.
No, for real. Now you get back and say, bruh, they get
So
on the
much
bus.
that went on.
They just like, bruh, like, just take me to school. Who would you say like was dominating like the lineup of like that prime time lineup, like as far as Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network in that like mid to like mid 2000s to like that like late I guess 2000.
I really think both of them was like they was equal.
They just
'Cause
respectively
they
different.
was respectively different, yeah, different. But I was watching both of them equally.
Hmm.
And hence why I was referring to like the Saturday morning.
Hmm.
Like if I was watching one network all night, I just get up the next day and watch the other one the next day. So they'll show all the new episodes the next day.
But if one had to go, which one has to go?
Hmm.
One had to go in all their content.
That's hard to say, Disney.
No, out of
Hmm.
Nick.
But out of Nick and Cartoon Network, that's hard. That's tough. Um,
Dan, they did have
I
all that though.
They had everything.
See,
I
Cartoon
probably say
Network
Cartoon
didn't.
Network.
Yeah.
Like once we got to the later 2000s, I was watching Nickelodeon more than Cartoon Network.
Mm.
Like when I was getting closer to middle school, I was still watching Nick a lot.
You know, on a real sidebar, though, what would you say like? I don't know if you're like too crazy with skit comedy shows or like In Living Color or like a type of SNL type show, like like a cast and it's just they do like a different thing each week. Um, were you familiar with Chappelle Show?
I remember, I just never watched it growing up.
See,
But I remember like all the highlights of Tyrone Biggums and Clayton Bigsby and all them,
I feel like
Rick James. But
I went back and watched it recently, and I was really trying to think of all like the sketch shows like that I've ever just seen like in pieces or like even the whole thing. And I was just like, wow, this really holds up. Living
mhm.
Color is really old.
It's good for its time period it came out in.
It's good for its time. It's just it holds up, but
Definitely holds up because
being
it's classic, it's funny, but like I say, will it hold up today?
yeah, it's
I think Dave Chappelle and his comedy in general, he likes to touch on stuff that be still going on and it'll
yeah,
still be relevant 20 some years
more
later.
an ethical comedy more so
Yeah.
than like see in Living Color. It almost reminds me of the Jamie Foxx show because I know the Jamie Foxx
It's
show.
mainstream, basically,
Yeah,
at the time.
that's okay. Facts.
Versus
Yeah,
like Dave Chappelle, his whole comedy in general.
yeah.
Like I say, he'll say a joke 20 years ago and it still holds true 20 years later.
It's crazy how we can go from cartoons to sketch comedy shows to the best black comedians of all time. Who do you think? What's your top five growing up more so? Like, what was your top five growing up versus I don't know if you probably have one now.
Um, Martin Lawrence, Bernie Mac,
Mm-hmm.
Sid the Entertainer, Cat Williams, and I'm gonna say that fifth spot. I could either go Kevin Hart or Steve Harvey.
Ooh, I'm gonna go like early on.
And then Dave Chappelle would be like an honorable mention.
I would
No,
go.
actually, I'm putting, yeah, I don't know.
You taking Steve over Dave?
Hmm.
I feel it though, like because mine is like Bernie Mac. Cedric it's so many people.
It's so many people, bro.
I guess I guess
But them my
okay.
top five though
I'm sorry. These are my top five
that I enjoy. And this is not
that I
just for
enjoy. Yeah,
this is me, my
because
personal who
some
I
people
enjoy.
had better stand up, and some people
Yeah,
had better just like like movies or TV shows.
yeah.
And I'm just gonna say as an entertainer. So I
So
like,
like honorable mention, I'm gonna say Dave Chappelle and
mm,
Eddie Griffin too.
yeah.
He honorable
Oh
mention because
man,
he very underrated.
yeah. Pound for pound, he's actually
Cause he like his stand up is way better than his
he
TV and movies and stuff.
because if you go for how much his for how much media he's been in versus like his peers, he's pretty good because he hasn't been in as much, and he's still as recognized.
Yeah,
And and you can do that in any field and not have as many like sample sizes and still be compared to like your peers. I mean, you did pretty good. I would say Bernie Mac, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, 4 or 5. 4 or 5 is crazy because because I go Martin.
Martin. Hmm.
Eddie truthfully was like a little before my time and he was going into my time, but like
Yeah,
not like I'm thinking like damn near Pete, like when were they in the most movies? When were they like at their best? And I'm thinking, okay, Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac, Martin Lawrence. I said Cedric, but I don't know. Because Cedric, really, if you think about it, he's like Ice Cube. He's gonna fit in really everything.
he fit in everything. Like
But
stand
that's
up
shout
good
out
and his
to
TV
that
good.
shout out to him though. My
He,
fifth spot is gonna be, man, God, that's a tough one. So many people.
it's so many people you can name. It's like you can name
Cause Steve Harvey was good. Steve Harvey would almost go on my second sit. Like Steve Harvey, Jamie Foxx,
I say Eddie Murphy too.
Eddie,
Chris
yeah,
Rock.
yeah. Yeah, Chris Rock, Chris Rock. Chris Rock doesn't always come to my mind first because,
No, I'm saying he is like funny,
yeah,
but he don't ever come to mind first.
damn. And who else?
Who else? Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
Who's some more?
You got Chris. I mean, Will Smith is more of an overall entertainer. Jamie
They like they overall,
Foxx is
yeah.
more of an overall.
Like
Ice Cube, LL, they were like kind of like
they
into
wouldn't never know
comedy.
me. I'm saying we talking about people that done stand up
That's right. That's
sets,
right. That's right.
stand up sets.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cap my A with my S tier and my A tier at Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle. Damn, I didn't put Kevin Hart in mine just because I'm thinking of like when I was younger, more so than now.
Now,
Because now it's
I didn't start liking Kevin Hart till I got like in high school, college.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was probably like one of the first of the newer
Newer
generation.
gener, him and Lil Duval.
Yeah, yeah. Because
Like Lil
really,
Duval really like pioneered all the internet comedian stuff.
I was just about to say, to be honest, after them, if you really try to like, consider,
Him and Cat Williams started. They was more internet.
they were one of the
They
last
was the
ones
pioneers. The
that
last
were,
ones I was doing
yeah,
stand up comedy, getting big through stand up.
exactly.
Cat Williams and Lil Duval, they was internet. They was kind of starting that wave.
They're funny wherever. And if you think in the timeline of that, everybody since then is so kind of fuzzy as far as like the funny people is because everybody has a different person now
Yeah,
because of the internet. Like since Cat Williams and Kevin Hart, like an internet, it
Lil
gave different
Duval
people the opportunity to do
do
stuff.
stuff on the internet,
So
make
it
it like
wasn't, yeah. Because you still got oh, also honorable mention Mike Epps.
oh yeah,
He's in there. He's in there. Um, my B tier would be like the Faison Loves,
Monique's
Earthquake.
Earthquake,
It's another big Lavelle Crawford.
Lavelle
That's what
Crawford.
I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Hella consistent. Oh, Paul Mooney was pretty good too. Well, he was older. He's older. But I'm trying to think of when I was growing up.
oh,
Harry Spears was decently
I ain't
funny.
watched Eric Spears for real. What about Adam Sandler? What you say about Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller?
Oh, I
'Cause
mean,
I feel like they was very movie funny, and Will Ferrell.
oh yeah, yeah. But to be honest though, stand up.
I'm saying, 'cause I never seen they stand-ups.
Stand-ups are so tough to judge on a case by case basis because it's just you don't have to score it on a rubric level
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many factors that go into like a stand-up and like how it's perceived as well, the time period.
Yeah.
It's kind
What's
of
going on in society at the time?
true.
All that
So
factors in. Just what life was like back then.
and respectfully, and that's how you can tell a
I'm
great
like,
stand-up.
will it be funny
Yeah,
today as it was back then?
yeah, you're
Does it
right.
hold up?
Because determining a great stand-up is being able to watch it and you be like, damn, I don't have to feel like I'm in that time period.
But I still understand what they talking about, and it's
Exactly.
funny.
So judging like Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler, a stand-up for me to watch, it would have to be really good, but I don't even know what really good from
Right?
them
They're
would
like, I've
be.
never seen any of they stand up,
Yeah.
but they movies always make me laugh.
Oh yeah. Like who would you say if one had to stay, one had to go? Will Ferrell's like whole catalog or Adam Sandler's whole catalog?
No, Will Ferrell can dip. I feel like Adam Sandler his catalog is more entertaining in my opinion.
I understand. I
He had a
understand.
whole lot of good movies in my opinion.
So you're saying Will Ferrell's
Well, not to knock Will Ferrell, because I do like Will Ferrell movies too.
is his catalog
But I
beating
enjoyed Adam Sandler more.
is his catalog beating you made me lose it. I was gonna say Ben Stiller. I was gonna say another funny guy. Um is Will Ferrell's catalog better than dot dot dot?
I think who?
Damn. It was somebody that has hella movies. Um
White dude, black dude.
yes.
Was he white?
Goodness. Yeah. It wasn't Ben Stiller. It wasn't like Tom Hanks, because he's been in like just every type of movie.
Was he a comedian? Or he just got a lot of movies?
I think he has a lot of. I think he's like a funny guy, but I don't think he did like stand up.
Stand up.
I'm gonna come back to him. But what would you say are some other notable guys in that category?
And like the movie comedians.
Mm-hmm. And I put Chris Rock in a movie comedian
Yeah.
role, like because he was actually funny in
'Cause
the
he was
movie.
funny in the movies too.
Yeah,
In his TV show, Everybody Hates Chris.
yeah. Oh yeah, good shit.
Like all time classic.
We can rewind. Who out of those lists we had like some of the best shows?
Definitely Martin.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause a lot of my sense of humor come from watching Martin. Fresh Prince, Jamie Foxx,
Bernie Mac show,
Bernie Mac show,
Steve Harvey show.
Steve. I ain't really.
Which it was old. It was old
It
as
was
Jamie
older.
Foxx show almost, or
Jamie Foxx.
might have been older.
It came out a little bit before Jamie Foxx show.
Yeah.
Who else?
You had Bernie Mac show, Jamie Foxx show. Cedric
I said
Entertainer,
Martin.
Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins was a very good movie. I like that movie. I know that's a movie, but
Yeah,
damn,
and
that was,
Cedric had his own little TV show for a minute too.
was it? It
He
was
did.
okay.
It was
Yes, he
it was
did.
all right.
TBS or
One of them network. It wasn't on TBS.
I think I'm
It
thinking
might
of
have been like UPN or something like that.
yeah. Shout out UPN. Shout out Flex. That boy was on everything.
Flex Alexanderson,
Yeah, Flex.
aka Michael Jackson.
No, stop.
Lifetime Michael Jackson.
No,
That's the first Tubi movie for real. If it was Tubi was out back then, that would have been the first one on the
UPN was probably the Tubi of networks.
Tubi of networks.
But UPN held me down for sure.
It held it down.
Me, UPN held it down. I'm not gonna hold UPN held down. WB,
WB, TV1.
TV1. Damn.
What else? Early BET.
Shout out early BET.
Early BET
That was a time
before it sold out.
Nah, but you know, VH1, MTV, they're all cooked though. Because if you think about it, like how we were talking about before the pod, they're really based on a time,
Just a
a
mainstream at the
set
time.
time in life that's kind of past. Like MTV, VH1.
They just show a bunch of reruns of old shows.
Yeah, because
Stuff. They don't.
you can't even really like do that. Like you can't like do a modernized version of MTV or VH1 because it's like that's not like the average teen for real.
No.
That was the teen in like 98 or like 03,
Yeah.
08. But the average
Most of the
teen,
teens ain't even watching TV shows no more.
nah.
They just watch like you got streaming shows now.
Yeah,
streaming platforms they watching.
that's the reason YouTube TV is damn near $80 now because they know nobody has cable.
You know,
So,
nobody watching cable. Everybody watching Netflix, Hulu, like Prime, Disney Plus, stuff like that.
but isn't it how crazy it is that you can have damn near 9 subscriptions and it's almost like you're paying for cable
You might as well. I'm saying, but it's the thing about the non-subscription, you get more with the subscription than you will with cable.
until you binge it all.
And yeah, until you binge it, you can still rewatch it.
How many are? What's the most rewatch show for you? Like just ever?
The most rewatchable show,
Hmm.
I probably say like all the sitcoms we just named, for real.
Were you very big on any of Tyler Perry's sitcom?
No, not at all. They was I'm gonna say corny.
No, I understand.
They was pretty corny to me. His movies was pretty good though, but the sitcoms was kind of they was cheesy.
Damn, you like Meet the Browns? I'm sorry.
Talking about the sitcom
I
and
guess
all
I'm
that.
gassing Meet the Browns. Damn. But I
Nah,
ain't gonna lie, Bryce. I was fucked up. I ain't have nothing else to watch. I don't know what channel it came on.
nah. I used to come on BET like everything else. Tyler Perry.
What it was, I think. I'm a recenter.
So you gonna have to get that off the TV too. That's distracting.
Oh yeah, I got you. I got
I'm trying not to look at that while we talking.
you. Oh damn, that bit cut out. Oh, you weren't charging it.
But what the fuck?
Hey, you really could take a picture and be like, this is so and so. It's crazy as hell. That it looked too much like somebody.
Like somebody, baby. Man. Hell no.
I bet he'd like, yeah, I got a homeboy look like you.
My
Damn.
homeboy trying to talk to you.
Nah, for real. Damn, nah, I set niggas back 90 years, but I did.
Oh,
I
we
ain't
need
get
to
that.
talk about Steve Irwin. That'll be a good topic too.
See her?
Whatchamacallit, the croc, because that was big in the 90s too, like wrestling and Crocodile Hunter.
You want to do an episode about it?
Now we can just kind of squeeze that a little bit into this one.
Yeah,
What we were talking about before we cut off?
bitch ain't get no juice. Oh, I brought up sitcoms.
Oh yeah, rewatchable sitcom.
Oh,
We was talking about Tyler Perry sitcom.
yeah, I was gonna look some up real quick too about that. A statistic on that.
And then we can talk about like My Wife and Kids, because everybody's saying that was better than Martin and stuff.
You don't think so?
Like, cause people were saying Gina, her character on My Wife and Kids is better than Gina.
Yeah, she had more range. But it's also if you just look at it from like a
Like I
big
didn't
picture
even watch
standpoint.
like that show to me was like watching Martin and then watching that. I'm like, it's not funny at all.
But it's I mean they gave Martin more it's hard the reason that that's true is because she wasn't gonna have the floor more than Martin, so she just never would have had the opportunity to do
Yeah,
so.
Martin had more range to do what he wanted to do.
Versus like My Wife and Kids is like that was a show that really nobody was like a lead on. Like
Yeah.
Damon Wayne was like I liked it because he wasn't like a super lead. He was kind of like just the dad. But some episodes he wouldn't even be as present. Versus
Because the
Martin.
thing about that stuff, it really played into the
Mhm.
title, My
Yeah,
Wife and
yeah,
Kids.
for sure. Now, granted, like you are right on like the whole like the value of the show because but it also just didn't have as much energy into it as Martin though either, and it's Martin too.
Right.
It's an easier play. Um, most like because it's kind of like Martin had more like behind it, so it was gonna do
And
good.
then see, we can. I know what I can say about 90 sitcom versus new ones too. I'm gonna wait. But the main thing with them 90 sitcom stuff, improv. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Improvisation.
Yeah, I mean, and also Martin was like a show about Martin versus My Wife and Kids was like about a lot of shit, and it really was the thing about I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna rewind a little bit. What are your thoughts on Martin versus My Wife and Kids?
Martin was more entertaining for me, more funnier in my opinion, because Martin had a lot of free. It was the big thing about that show. A lot of improv comedy too.
He had a lot of free
A
range.
lot of free range in the show. A lot of free range to do what he wanted to do. Hence why we got all them characters in the show.
Yeah, Jerome,
Shanae, Mama Payne,
no
Man,
disrespect
Man, Hustle Man.
to the other two guys, but they're just like Robin characters to me for some reason.
To my Tommy and Cole.
Tommy, yeah, they held down their roles.
So they held their roles down.
Yeah,
man.
it was just when I go back, I don't really remember much that they contributed to the show. I know what they did, but I remember like, they pop in the door, tell a few jokes, pop back out,
I'm saying that sometimes they had their own episodes every now and then.
Yeah. Tommy, which one was the mess up? Was it like Tommy or was it Cole?
The mess, like the Cole was the one he had a job, but he was living with his mama, going out with Big Shirley and them.
Yeah.
Tommy had himself together, but he just would never tell nobody what he did for a living. Like he had that was like the running joke. Like, Tommy, you ain't got no job, man. But the whole time, like, cause remember, Tommy used to come through. He used to have his nice suit and stuff on. Used to have his watch, fresh, but you ain't never know what he did.
That's what he used to call it. Kind of, it used to give me the vibe that he really didn't have a job. Cause I was just like, it ain't no way that you ain't even had no nigga come around you and do all that, and he not tell you what he do.
And then like came out, somebody said he was like a counselor at the Boys and Girls Club or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like he used to come through with like nice suits on, watches.
Remind me of that dude from Living Single.
Yeah, like the real proper dude with the like the dread hairstyle, whoever that was.
Damn, hey, that was a pocket. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get off track, but that was a pocket of time where life was cool.
Life was cool.
That was that intro song. Probably was a top 5 song.
Martin. And then you had the Gina and Pam, the two the love interests for real.
Facts.
Because if you really know, like they touched on that in one episode when Martin was having them nightmares about Pam.
Yeah.
Like repressed desires. Like in the show.
Nah, you
like they was always flirting with each other low key. Hence why they was always roasting each other.
I think like
because he realized he should have went with Pam over Gina.
Yeah. That was a cool storyline because you don't really see that much. Or you don't see it done in that way.
Nah, like Martin, like every episode was like completely different from the previous one unless something major happened. But like the whole plot is like him and Martin, not him, him and Gina. Remember they in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They was living apart. But they was over each other's house all the time. And eventually they ended up moving in together. And they got to a point where they got into a big argument. They broke up. Seeing other people. Then they got back together. And they get married. And then life go on in the show.
Like Pac said. Yeah, for sure. And then
it got to a point around the end of the show when they was having their little internal issues and stuff behind the scenes. And they had to kick Gina off the show.
I think Martin was probably outside of, I know I was comparing the two between My Wife and Kids and Martin, but I think Martin was probably outside of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air for that era was probably one of the best shows.
And then there was a lot of improv too.
Yeah, out of all the
unfiltered,
the areas that it filled. Yeah. Especially for this time, it was probably better than SNL. It was probably better than In Living Color. It was probably better
because it was just no filter on that show for real.
And nobody was just funnier than Martin at that time. Like
Martin, because he was everywhere.
Yeah,
all the movies. He was hosting Def Jam comedy. He had his own TV show.
Because the energy that he provided, it was just it's crazy that they put both of them in Bad Boys. I see why.
Right.
I see why.
Because they had the biggest 2 TV shows at the time, and they was like the biggest, most popping things back in the 90s. Him and Will.
Their energy was like comparable to like, I don't know, like a CP3 or something. Like them being on the set,
they was like like best friend type energy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, individual wise, like when they came onto a set of production, it's like they contributed so much that it's like all you really had to do was just set them up with like what they needed and they can kind of operate,
Yeah, like just give me what I need, get out the way.
yeah,
We got it.
and people say, "Oh, that's easy." It's easy when you have something like that, but it's not always easy to find that product. Like, because we haven't had a Martin or Will in 20
Yeah,
years.
some years now.
Like your Kevin Hart's come along, but even like they know where their talent lies and like where they game recognized game. Honestly, you don't get people like that very often because that's just a rare. It's very hard to kind of bottle like
Hmm.
to get that person that's kind of meets every criteria in comedy or really entertainment. Um, in today, I think more so now you ain't gonna find it because people's interests are just so divided as what
Hmm.
they want. Like they don't really want that type of entertainment anymore. It's more of like
That's because we got
specialized.
social media now. You can just find entertainment anywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we don't really need them big name comedians anymore.
I think My Wife and Kids has I like the replay value of it because of it's more of a concept base and the show just progresses. So it's an ongoing not necessarily
You
plot,
kind
but
of just
ongoing.
following the story of this family,
Yeah.
like as they grow
Yeah,
as a
exactly.
family.
Exactly. And you feel like not you feel like you grow, but you feel like there's a an overall like lesson that I feel like I should be drawn from it. Uh, because it has a family dynamic. Because some shows it has where like families like to break up, but this family they
Hmm.
just kind of like grew and just
They just grew up and just grew
yeah,
do what normal families do.
people moved out, got kids, stuff like that.
That's kind of how like Family Matters and Full House,
Yeah,
similar
one of
concept. Because
those
remember
shows.
they
They have the scene where the oldest one like goes to college and then like they
not
turn that
somebody
room
right
into like the game
something
room
else,
or something.
and then
And
Uncle Jesse meet the girl. They have twins. Now they
yeah,
got the
yeah.
now they all growing.
That was the whole like that was the golden age plot line of a sitcom. Um, I'm not gonna say just in the '90s because that was really just sitcoms in general. It was the whole family thing. You grow
The
them up
family dynamic yeah.
and you spin it off. You give them a spin off. You give him a spin off.
And I think like Martin was the only they didn't really have no family dynamic in Martin,
Yeah, no,
but
no,
they made it work.
yeah. Martin, Jamie Foxx. It was kind of like new plot every week. Y'all got it good. Let's film it. It's gonna be good. But if you're trying to track it from week to week on like what was he doing? It has nothing to do, because it might be Jerome for half the episode, Tommy and Cole for half. That's the
Right.
episode. And then, they're going to give you a plot line, of course, but it just wasn't like an ongoing, like, oh, you had to follow it.
Ongoing. You had to follow tune in next week for the
Some shows, they'll give you like,
some episode they did have like part twos and stuff.
yeah, oh yeah. That's how those were the only times where the Fresh Princes or Jamie Foxx's would give you like a part two was when like somebody's getting like held up or something at gunpoint. They just really want you
No, and like Martin had those in there too.
back then you had to wait a week,
You had to wait
man.
like that, wait 7 days just to see what happened.
Oh my, and there was no leaks. There is nothing.
Nothing. You just see the look rerun the commercials and stuff on there.
Yeah, you had your living singles, Family Matters,
Full House. Um,
Girlfriends. Oh
I ain't
wow.
watching no girl.
And Everybody Hates
Nah,
Chris for sure.
Everybody Hates Chris definitely was one of my favorites.
Nah, I'm not gonna lie. If I was to be asked what was a better show, Living Single or Girlfriend, I would probably say
What was Girlfriends about?
it was like Living Single without men, really. Like it was the same plot line, it's just they didn't have
They just
they didn't have
come on
men in
TV.
it.
I used to cut the
Yeah.
TV off whenever they came on.
No, Girlfriends was just pretty much the woes of. You ever seen? You ever seen any Bill Bellamy movie
Mm,
or
mm-mm.
like any like what was it for brother? It's basically like the single like lifestyle
A
and like
bunch of just single women living together, like something.
yeah. Well, like I think one had a relationship like pretty much all the time, and like the other three, or it was like two or three. That was pretty much it was just like the revolving thing of just like
Just kind of following a group of women friends around,
yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
Hmm.
But I ain't gonna lie, it was on a nice spin because this wasn't in the era where like it was a nice spin on it because it was a different era. It was because it was still classy, if that
Yeah,
makes
they
sense.
was classy for sure.
In living or I'm sorry, not even living single with Queen Latifah had like more of like a value because
That's like that.
she had a
I
presence.
didn't really watch that show, but that seemed like it followed young black professionals,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
early on in their careers and stuff.
Yeah, you're
Like
right.
fresh out of college, they just starting, they
Yeah,
getting their life together.
they lean more into that aspect Yeah, they
'Cause
definitely.
I think that's what
Yeah,
that's kind of what the theme of that show was, like the young black professionals.
yeah. Girlfriends was going more into Girlfriends was also a
Girlfriend, it
little
seemed
bit
like that's more so
older
like the
or a
independent
little bit newer.
woman
Yeah,
type
yeah.
thing.
Well, no, it was just it was like more in the
It was like
2000s.
2000s,
It was a little after the Parkers, so it was kind of like the 90s was kind of really over. The 2000s were like newer.
modernized
And they didn't really
stuff.
have just as many like men reoccurring guests in it. I think they had one.
They had like William was like on the male character
That's
now.
that, yeah. They had him, and I like it was kind of just they would just mix it up every week, and then that was pretty much it. I mean, it's a pretty repeatable plot line to do. Like it's doable, and your demographic is gonna be there.
Yeah, but
Um,
I ain't watched that one though.
it was kind of like uh it was one of those UPN shows, but it was just a better produced show because of the acting talent that they had on it. Because a lot of the people that they had on it went on to like do other
So the only
stuff.
one I remember was what, Tracy Ellis Ross,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and then you
Man,
had the
she was big
William
on it.
dude,
Her and Will, or what was the guy?
like William,
William. I'm sorry.
aka Moneybag Yo.
No, her. Oh yeah, that's funny. That's funny. I remember that one. Dang, I love how full circle this comes. Well, her and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if they were like a love interest, but they had a very big thing on the show with like they probably took up half of the show, kind of like on Jamie Foxx. Fancy and Jamie Foxx would take up half the show because they were love interest, and his
Mm-hmm.
family would come around, joke,
Now what's an
help
uncle and
them out.
aunt and uncle and then Braxton?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Not too many characters, like
They
just
kept it
enough.
simple. They threw one every now and then.
Yeah, yeah. Man, for sure. Because some people have too many characters, and it's only like a 30-minute or a 20 something minute show with commercials.
Yeah, so they kept it simple. And then like Martin, even though Martin had a whole bunch of, they still kept it simple though.
Luckily, he was most of the characters,
He
so
was
it's like,
it was most of it follow him and his crew.
yeah, exactly.
With
Yeah.
like the extra side character every now and then.
Sitcoms going
Yeah.
into the 2000s. Oh, I'm sorry. Also, shout out to Parkers. I know we're going from
I
spot to
think
spot.
that
That's
was
my
like a
bad.
spinoff of like what was the
Moesha?
show? Yeah, Moesha. I didn't watch Moesha,
You know, which is crazy? The Parkers was a better show.
and it was low key kind of a better show.
I guess because, when you do the whole like performer turned act
Actress.
talent, like, and you put it in a show, it doesn't always go how like people would want or the fans would think it would go. And Moesha, from what I remember, they ran it exactly like the Parkers, but it wasn't as like ha ha funny, so it just didn't work.
Yeah.
Like it's the show kind of ran fine, like it was like plot line. It was kind of like the twins, like what Tia
Tia and some sister
Smart,
sister.
or yeah, I'm sorry,
The
yeah,
smart guy was their little brother.
yeah. They did the same plot line better, and I don't really know why. Moesha it just didn't
It
really.
was kind of boring to me.
Yeah, it was.
For real.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm gonna stop dragging. It was boring.
It was boring.
No, it's
It was
some people don't
boring.
like.
Like I mean, it had like, of course they're gonna throw in jokes here and there, but it just
Yeah,
wasn't.
if you
It was,
told me, it actually makes sense that the Parker is a spinoff because it feels just more energetic and just
yeah.
more like revitalized. Like it's like they knew where they kind of went wrong. But I almost would have thought like, damn,
And
Moesha
throw
came
some more
from.
comedy in the show. That's what it
Yeah,
was. Like
it
Moesha didn't have a lot of funny,
yeah.
memorable stuff.
The Parkers had more color. It had more variety to the script. Moesha was just more flat. Even Sister was more like up than that.
I
Like,
mean, it was cool.
yeah,
Sister, like it was cool.
yeah.
I'm saying it wasn't like
It
nothing.
was safe. Like
But yeah, it wasn't nothing crazy.
their target demographic was also like not necessarily us either. Like it was kind of like wider. Like it was kind of like,
They're trying to appeal to a wider audience.
yeah,
So
that was something that you really could slap on like a Disney for real, or like a
you can slap on
TBS.
like TBS. You can slap on what else?
I'm
Just something a
thinking.
whole bunch of people could watch.
Yeah, you could throw it on not a TNT, but like you could throw it on like a ABC or like a yeah, you can throw it on the
Like
ABC.
Fox or some like something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. If you threw it on BET, I'm not tripping.
It belongs on BET definitely.
Yeah, it's just
Like if anything, that's gonna be the first network it'll be on.
yeah.
But
Yeah for sure.
you can throw it on somewhere else and it'll be cool because people will still watch it.
Yeah, Moesha wasn't. But the Parkers probably was one of the last shows of the era going into 2000s of really the death of the sitcom. Like probably after that.
No, I say probably Everybody Hates Chris.
But yeah, that was just one of a good network show,
That
more
was a good
so.
network show.
That's one of those
I know,
shows.
no, I know what you're saying, like studio audience type of.
Yeah, man, you got your Family Matters, you got your Girlfriends, Parkers, you got. But as we go into the
This was the last one with the studio audience. But I think
that
no
really
George Lopez. That ain't a black show though.
nah, yeah, honestly,
I think that might have been the last one with
that
the
might
studio
be.
audience though.
I had a
Like George
glimpse of
Lopez.
some because we had Everybody Hates Chris just in general. I'm trying to think how deep did because you had Everybody Hates Chris. We really just stopped making shit
They just stopped making shit for real
because
after
Tyler Perry really kind of just took. I ain't gonna say he took over, but he was just the only person really.
start. He continued on with the
Because
studio, like
if we
Tyler
think like
Perry.
what, like 2009, the game. That's the only thing we're thinking of. That's
I
the
think
only.
that's that. Did they have a studio audience? I think that
Mhm.
they have a studio audience.
Well, they had the little.
The sound,
Hey,
the
but
studio audience.
to wrap this segment, this pod up, I just also want to say, all these takes are personal. If you do feel the way,
Definitely personal. It's just how we think, what we
Mhm.
think about them,
how we perceive it,
not how everybody else. It's just us. Our
Exactly.
opinion.
Exactly, 100%. So if y'all have any stuff that y'all would like to see us cover more of, let us know.
And then what's y'all top five like comedians and sitcoms and stuff?
Please let us know. Tag anybody. Let us know who your top five sitcoms are.
Top five sitcoms and top five comedians.
Yes. Don't forget to drink your water. Please recycle. Be kind to people. What do you have for us closing out?
It's March Madness. Watch these games. If you make it a bracket, we got a second chance bracket coming up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Do your research.
It hit different. Do your
It hit
homework.
different. Do your homework. Definitely do your homework. Just in general. Not even for March Madness.
Facts.
Just do your
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah,
do
yeah.
your research. Do your homework before you do anything.
Like, share, and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, if you're on anywhere else, follow, comment, reach out for any topics you'd like us to cover. And remember, if it ain't right, get right.